What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 112 of the Chumpcast. Our old friend Il Poe joined us this week to discuss the long-awaited Tom Hardy blockbuster, Venom. We also get into the latest video game news and play Jamba or Vape Juice. For next week, we want you to Frankenstein together the ultimate horror movie monster. You can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. If you leave us a good enough voicemail, you might hear yourself on a future episode. If you want to support the show, you can find our merch at thechumpcast.com. We always appreciate kind reviews, subscriptions, and ratings on Apple Podcasts. You can also shop on Amazon through our affiliate link at thechumpcast.com/Amazon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go get jumped into this Logang thing. I don't know.
A couple of handsome hunks riffing on comics.
In low def.
The lowest def of all time. There's a little camera right there.
Yeah, I gotta get something better than that.
What is that? Logitech?
Yeah.
Is it standard def for real?
No, it's 720, but...
I mean, you $40-$50, you'd be already at a nice upgraded picture.
What we talked about was one of those 360 cams.
Oh, yeah.
So we put it like in the middle and people can...
Yeah. It's like you're really there. Put it in the rotating chair.
Not a bad move. But we'll have a new setup when your new place. If you sign and do your shit correctly, right?
I don't know. We'll see. I've been fucked on so many houses by now that I'm just not comfortable saying, yeah, we're going to buy this one.
Yeah, it's in the bag.
It's the plan.
Lock it in. You're going to get ass fucked by another house.
Wow.
Very painful. Houses are large.
And in charge.
That was my OG Counter-Strike gamer tag when I was like 12.
Fucked in the ass with a house?
No, well, that was good too, but large and in charge.
Really?
And I was also like 110 pounds at that point, so...
That's hilarious.
Dripping wet, yeah.
It's like when you have a giant guy and you nickname him Tiny.
Yeah.
That's in Crash Bandicoot. Character's tiny, but he's
good to know.
Gigantic.
Oh.
His second gamer tag was Big Willie.
Yeah. A little euphemism.
But then
Big Willie style.
Yeah, big
like
Will Smith fan.
Yeah.
Then he got banned.
They said that name was inappropriate after like 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I slipped through the cracks of the censorship.
Yeah, if only they would have got his...
What platform was this?
That was on Xbox. The Large and in Charge was just like some random internet cafe that charged like
Club
$2 an hour to play. Yeah, exactly.
What a ripoff. I can't believe that place went out of business.
Internet cafes, do they still exist?
Yeah, just not in America.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like a South Korean thing.
Yeah, it's huge there.
What do they do there?
They sell balls.
Play games with like incredibly fast internet. There's like hotels that have like gaming suites in Korea. You can go and it'll be like top of the line computer like in your room. So if you
and
have
they
to,
just give you gigabit internet? And...
Yeah, like if you have to stream or edit or like you could just play any games. They're like decked out with like, Steam accounts that have everything that's popular.
Damn.
Interesting.
Yeah.
South Korea.
So if you guys want to plan a trip.
So South Korea.
It's my honeymoon.
Is it?
South Korea or North Korea?
Yeah, North Korea.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good.
They don't have
joke.
internet in North
Yeah,
Korea.
you could barely connect to like,
Except my guy, Kim.
Yeah.
He listens to the Chumpcast. No big deal.
We just started an actual international war.
the Unster.
Big Willie, Dennis Rodman, and the Unster.
Or the generals of the Chumpcast army.
All right, so we're going to get into our listener submissions from the week. The question this week was, and I guess we have to come to some sort of conclusion at the end of this, because that was the selling point. We wanted you to submit the best movie from the year that you were born, and we're going to argue about what the best year for movies was. So I want to kick this off with a voicemail that we got from one of our listeners.
Chumps, what's up? It's Kyle. Kyle A. Robinson 51 on Instagram. Shameless plug for myself. Anyway, 1989 was the year that I was born, and I'm going to make an argument for Batman with Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne and Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I want to hear you guys argue this because I think that Nicholson's portrayal of Joker is arguably one of the better ones, obviously behind Heath Ledger, but I just want to hear, I just want to see how you guys feel about that. So I'm going to go with Batman from 1989. Keep up the good work, fellas.
What I want to see is a list. Is there like only 4 Jokers at this point? Like how many is there actually?
You've had Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah, he's number 1 in my opinion.
Oh, shit, the voiceover guy. John Jake from Adventure Time. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name.
Stamos.
Definitely not. John Stamos would be an excellent Joker.
Well, Hamill was the cartoon, right?
There's been several.
Yeah, but the
Hamill's
one that I grew up with. So
the animated
I'm
series.
biased.
He was actually a really good Joker.
Are you going to stump for Jared Leto?
Yeah, Jared Leto is probably number 2. Suicide Squad, he just really brought it.
You know, it's hard to argue against that. He might be top tier Joker.
Joaquin Phoenix, just based on the hype alone, I think we got to pencil him in there.
I saw that one scene where he was in the subway. It was electrifying.
You guys saw the makeup.
I could make an argument for Jesus. I have the worst brain right now. Michael Keaton is a great Batman. He's a great actor, and I'm really sad that he disappeared for as long as he did.
Yeah,
but I'm glad that he's getting back into the mix.
He was no Bale.
John DiMaggio. Sorry, that was killing me. Okay. John DiMaggio is like one of the most prolific voice actors that's doing it right now.
What else does he do?
He's Bender in Futurama. He was King Zog in Disenchantment. He's pretty much in everything.
Yeah.
Once you get to play the Joker, I mean,
you made it. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the animated, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know that he would be a very good live action Joker.
So can either of you defend Nicholson then? Because I actually can't.
I think that for that version of the Joker, he was pretty good. You know, it's not the Jack Napier comic book Joker or the one that everybody associates Heath Ledger with, obviously. Like, not totally unhinged, but that's the beauty of the Joker, is that he operates fully in chaos. This Joker was a little bit different. He had motives and goals as opposed to the dog chasing cars.
Right.
So
just burn the pile of money and move on with it.
I love Batman 89. I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm more sold on psychopath only Joker.
Can I get a top 3 Mr. Freeze?
Arnold.
It's
just Arnold 3 times.
rounds it out.
I underrated the Penguin.
No, it's not.
Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito as the Penguin was
When's
amazing.
the last time you watched that movie?
Years ago. Like
not even
when I was 8 or 9, to be honest.
I saw it recently. And that's with Catwoman in that one too, right?
Yes.
That was better than 89, in my opinion.
It wasn't. It wasn't even close.
You're dumb.
You think PPR is better than regular scoring in fantasy football? Shut up.
Wow.
Everybody is going to agree with me on that one.
No one agrees with you. Mark is definitely not going to agree with you because he doesn't even draft his own fucking team.
You got to earn your points. If you catch 14 balls for 6 yards, who cares?
Exactly.
Name me one person who's caught 14 balls for 6 yards.
Christian McCaffrey.
Good call. He's got you there.
14 catches.
What's that guy, Washington's second running back? Thompson?
Chris Thompson.
Yeah, he actually does nothing.
He traded freaking Chris Thompson and Quincy Anunua for David Johnson.
You gotta buy when they're selling them, you know?
Quincy Anunua.
eBay master.
Yeah.
Will, I guess we didn't even introduce you.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
You've been here before, but it's been a while. So everybody say hi to Will.
What's up, guys?
Hi, Will.
Hi, Will.
I think I was last here on the E3 2017 edition of the Chumpcast.
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
And then before that, it was Slender Man, right?
No, it was that
Get
comic?
Out. No.
Oh, it was on Get Out. No, that was a combo.
It was Get Out, and we
combo.
also did Midnighter and Apollo.
Right.
The last comic book we reviewed.
I don't think that's true, but I can't argue with you because I can't think of another one.
Yeah.
You're probably actually right.
It was a comic book podcast last time I was here.
No, we did movies. We just did comic books also.
No, yeah.
And then everybody was like, we don't give a shit about comic books.
Yeah, comic books. Actually, boo.
So now we save them just for recommendations.
Right.
But
yeah.
I'm looking for some recommends.
For comic books?
For anything.
Okay.
I can recommend a stack of comic books for you right now. We'll get to it later.
I want Spider-Man the Pig.
That's actually Spider-Ham.
Oh.
And it is a real thing. It's Peter Porker.
No way.
Introduced in 1983, Marvel Comics.
It's like a joke, right? Like
yeah. But
is it funny?
Alternate universe. Yeah. And he came back for the Spider-Verse event a couple years ago, which was an actual thing, which is kind of loosely what the animated movie is going to be based on. But that was more focused around Peter Parker in Earth 616, which is like the Spider-Man you know.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man 29 shows up. Spider-Gwen, that's where Spider-Gwen came from. Gwen Stacy.
Okay.
I don't know how we got down this path, so let's get back to the question.
We're going to get back into a deep dive of Spider-Man and a little bit more of Spider-Man into the
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse. And we'll get into it.
So we had a text from Darian, and Darian gave me some shit because he told me that I can't do an impersonation of him.
Sup, Darian?
That's Mark.
That was from Mark.
That's Mark's impersonation. And like, I can do you because you're just like, Peace.
Sick. Nice.
Sick. Peace.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
See you later.
I'm going to give this a shot.
Ya.
So Darian texted us his answer, and he's like, I can't even do this.
Do it.
He's
You
committed
gotta
at this
mumble a
point.
little bit. You gotta mumble a little bit.
No, like, I know how he speaks. Like, he doesn't open his mouth very far.
Okay.
Batman and Robin was the best movie in 97 because despite how shitty it was, became a punchline that lives on for 21 years now. That's how Darian talks.
He's not wrong about
That's
that.
pretty good, actually.
Really?
I think nope. No.
Yeah, probably terrible.
Terrible.
What was it?
Terrible.
The Batman Express card? Was it the?
Don't leave home without it.
Yeah,
It was
don't leave-
MasterCard.
Yeah, that's the best part of that movie.
Oh, it's terrible. But he goes on, and I won't torture
No,
everybody else.
please.
I can't. From Batnips to being a standard of how bad superhero movies can be.
Don't you know anything?
Good point.
No such thing as can't.
That-
What time Hardy say?
Wow, words
Yeah,
to live.
there
by.
were a lot of really corny lines in this movie.
Hell yeah. We'll get into it later.
Yeah, stop distracting me. Tyler Piasecki on Instagram says, Boys in the Hood, 1991. That is not the best movie from 1991.
I would
First
need
time
to
I
see a
saw that.
list, but yeah, I could.
First time I saw that was actually, I was like, blown
It's not a
away.
bad movie.
From 91, actually, the best one from that was either Silence of the Lambs or An American Tale, Fievel Goes West.
I knew you were going to go back to Five Goes. This is your year, right?
No.
91?
No.
Was this Mark's year then?
Mark's year.
Because you looked this up already.
I looked it up because I wanted
Are you 89
to
or 90?
know if he was lying or not.
Okay.
No. I'm 90. I'm January of 90, so
And so
barely.
90.
I'm barely
Just
90.
missed the 80s.
Just missed the 80s.
It was the best time. Cocaine everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. My Brother's Got Cats 21. This is our friend Tofty. Return of the Jedi, 1983.
Ooh.
I know
Old
that
ass.
he was born the year that Casablanca came out, so I don't know who he's fooling here.
Yeah.
Because he's older than dirt.
Here's looking at you, kid. Is that the fucking movie?
Think so? I've never actually seen
I'm going to make
Casablanca.
him a deal he can refuse.
that's definitely it. God damn it. All
I
right.
love that movie.
L.A. Jacool says Message from Space. So I've never actually seen this. I had to look it up. But it's a U.S.-Japanese co-production with Dean's ill-fated ex-husband from Scream Queens as one of the heroes. Will, as our resident video game nerd,
Yes.
I guess, do you
What the
know
hell
what
am I? I'm a goddamn Games Dean icon.
he crushes you?
Yeah, I know.
I've gamed with him. He's better than you.
I know. It's fucking not even close.
Do you know what a Shogunyan is?
I would assume that it's some sort of like mech, if I was just guessing.
I looked this up and I've already forgotten it, but it's some handheld game for Nintendo, and it is Yokai Watch.
Oh yeah, I know what Yokai Watch is.
What the fuck is this?
It's like knockoff Pokemon if like feelings were embodied into like little animal creatures. So let's say you feel fear. That means there's a little yokai around and he's making you feel afraid.
Oh, so it's like the Care Bears, right?
Wow.
I played maybe like 10 hours of one of the Yokai Watch games and then I was like, this just isn't for me. It's just like a
Fair enough.
slow moving Pokemon. Like,
See,
Japanese games.
This is why I asked Will and not you.
Yeah, I would have no clue. But I call them the Care Bears.
A lot of Japanese games like take a while to onboard you, so they teach you all the systems, but it's kind of at like a really tutorialized, slow pace. So if you're familiar with how to play video games, you don't really need that, and it can just hinder you from keeping going.
Well, 10 hours, that's a pretty hefty amount of time to be running through some tutorials.
Right.
So I asked this question because she says she named her Shogunyan after one of the characters in this movie.
Okay.
Webb Arnold 2, I'm sorry, says Blade Runner. So that was 1982.
Yeah.
I would argue that this movie wasn't good until they released the director's cut. And that was like late 90s, I think.
I still never saw either.
Ugh, you're killing me.
It's
The
good.
new one is vastly underrated. It's so good.
Wait, the new one with Gosling? Yeah, that's awesome.
It was awesome. It was
Yeah.
gorgeous. Roger Deakins finally got his Oscar.
I mean, the
His
original was
Oscar.
awesome too,
His
but
ass.
I guess they kind of spoiled the replicant debate.
I was fine with it.
Yeah, me too. But
It's not worth getting into.
No.
We've already been sidetracked so many times.
We are king sidetrack today. We don't even have Mark.
I know. Prefectus47 says Aladdin. Still misses Robin Williams. This is a strong contender.
Absolutely. What year is this?
year?
92. What year did Lion King come out? Was that 94? Google that for me, please.
Okay.
Because if that came out in the same year, then we might just be done, and it might just be
Lion King.
1992.
Yeah, like 95 maybe.
By the way, 94 for
Okay.
Lion King. But who was the villain in Venom? What's his name?
Riz Ahmed.
Riz Ahmed could be fucking identical Aladdin. He could be the perfect Aladdin. Right?
Wow, that's profiling.
That's pretty racist.
You guys are watching it. He looks just like him in the face.
Oh, wow.
In the face.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
they
need
are
to do-
doing a
we need to
live
do a-
action Aladdin.
We need to do a side by side. I don't know how good he is at singing, but he can rap.
Can he dance?
He can rap.
But he does like that garbage British rap.
Don't
And the
diss
tingle, tut, tut,
the
tut.
RZA.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
Whatever. He looks like fucking Aladdin. I'm doing a side by side later.
racist. B Daisy Specht, aka White Trash Betty. She sent me a list of these. I'm not reading a list. You're
Well,
supposed to pick one.
One. Yeah.
Is it year by year?
She wasn't born in multiple years.
Yeah. She has multiple personalities,
Yeah.
like Brick on Twitter.
Yeah. Psychopaths only. I like this girl. Let's go.
So she says her personal favorite, which I'm sure you guys will shun me for, is Sister Act. Yes, shun.
I got chills in that. Wait. Is that the one where?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. Whoopi Goldberg. And what's that? What's the song they sing?
I don't know. I haven't seen this movie in like 25 years.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
But Whoopi Goldberg, one of the few people on the planet to EGOT. We talked about John Legend. God damn it!
You
Why
are
can I not
fumbly,
speak today?
bubbly idiot.
Seriously.
Today. Good Lord. Figure
I
your
haven't-
friggin' shit out, dude.
I haven't slept a lot lately. Okay. Anyways, John Legend. He EGOTed. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
He got the four piece.
Man,
Yeah. So Whoopi has also done that. You look like you're about to say something, or your brain is about to explode.
I'm looking for that song that I wanted to put on here.
No, you can't. I'm telling
we
you
can't
because
do
they will pull
songs.
us off of YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Watch It Like says Rocky 4. And that was 1985. So this is, I guess, the precursor to Creed 2. Kinda.
Oh, yeah. I never saw it.
What are you talking about? You've never even seen.
Anything past 3 before the reboots is, I don't know.
Anything.
I'm not
They're
going
all
to
pretty much-
champion them.
All I know is like he ran up some stairs and became a champion of something and then fought Drago
Philly.
and somebody died.
Well, spoiler, but
Wow.
They
I'm
showed
kidding.
that it literally in the preview of,
Chill. Did you see how
Ass
angry he
Creed,
gets?
of Assassin's Creed 2. What is it? 2?
Pushing your
Don't
buttons.
you dare call me a spoiler.
Martino Mark says Disney's That Darn Cat. I had to Google this. I've never seen this movie. It came out in 1965. So we got a wide
wait.
demographic here. I don't think anybody's going to be stumping for 1965 to be the best year for
No,
movies, though.
I'll let him have that one.
Whoa. 1966 is when the movie came out.
Oh, okay. Mark had to get his 2 cents in here, and he says Terminator 2. It's a worthy submission,
Yeah.
but also
T2
Mark's not
is
here,
awesome.
so fuck Mark.
Fuck Mark. I'm in Napa.
What else came out in 91? Regale me.
Silence of the Lambs,
Pretty
Beauty and the
good.
Beast, What About Bob, City Slickers, Boys in the Hood, American Tail, Five Goes West.
Was not a big City Slickers guy.
I'm going to give it to Lambs.
Yeah,
Out of that, yeah,
honestly,
it's gotta be.
Silence of the Lambs has got to be the one.
I think so.
That one was about Ed Gein, right? The guy who wore people's faces and pussies and shit.
I think he
Well, we're
was like an
definitely
amalgamation of a bunch of
demonetized
different serial killers.
I'm sorry.
I don't think Hannibal Lecter was like directly taken from just one person.
No, they were trying to capture the guy who was making people's skin into like lampshades, right?
Oh, you mean Buffalo Bob?
No, Ed Gein did the same thing.
A lot of serial killers do that.
Not a lot, like a couple of them. Like Buffalo Bill, Ed Gein, and like Jeffrey
I call him
Dahmer.
Buffalo Bob.
It's his brother. He's into some
He
weird
gets a bad
shit.
rap.
Yeah.
brought shame to the Buffalo name.
Bro, imagine just being a nice guy and then your brother does some horrible shit and nobody wants to talk to you.
Yeah, I can't
Oh.
even fathom that.
Yeah, being associated with that.
You're like, thanks, Bill. Now I got to be Buffalo Bob. My
Now I
whole
gotta
life.
change my name. Dreams 2114 says Back to the Future and Goonies,
Oh.
1985. That's a solid
Back to the
submission.
Future. I'm gonna say top 3 movies for me of all time.
And then the Goonies on top of that, 1985. We might have to investigate in the 85.
Well, why don't you give me top from your year?
Honestly, 90 wasn't awesome.
That sucks.
Well, it wasn't terrible though. We got Kindergarten Cop,
Okay.
Edward Scissorhands.
Wait, was Kindergarten Cop Arnold's venture away from just action? Was that his first one?
I mean, there was
There was
action
action
in
in
that.
Kindergarten Cop.
But it's more of a comedy, right? It's his first comedic role. Is
Yeah.
that fair?
Boys have a
Potentially.
penis.
Except for Hercules in New York. That was hilarious.
I never saw that one.
They dubbed over his voice. Like they ADR'd with someone who speaks clear English. It's just hilarious to
No
watch.
way.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys didn't. Oh man, we'll watch clips of it later
Yeah,
because
that
it's
sounds good.
That
it's
does
pretty
sound
funny.
actually good. Okay, so we got Edward Scissorhands. I'm a big fan of that one because I like that perfect city civilization bullshit. And then it's actually just a good movie. It was also in 1990. Home Alone.
That was a TV series, technically.
It?
Yeah. It was like a, whatever, go ahead.
Home Alone and then Goodfellas.
Oh.
If I had to pick one out of that
kind
year.
of a banger of a year. I was just super undersold that. Damn.
Yeah. Home Alone.
Yeah.
But that's just nostalgia.
Yeah, that's my childhood speaking.
But my actual favorite movie would be Goodfellas from that
Same.
year.
Yeah.
We're all in consensus.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Why can't Ray Liotta get work?
He changed his face a lot. He got some major plastic surgery.
He had kind of a bad face.
He fucked it up a little bit.
He had really bad skin.
Just stay old like Clint Eastwood, and then you'll be fine.
Clint
just
Eastwood.
Just grimace 2 feet away from the camera and you'll make a career out of it.
Yeah, that's that is Clint Eastwood is just the grimace face, old guy / being.
I just pictured him as a big
badass.
purple fuzzy guy. I think that's funnier.
Grimacette.
Oh my god, yeah, so did I now. Wow, I need to make a badass Clint Eastwood grimace movie.
Just turn your your safe search off.
God, how did we're gonna get into that later. All right, mine from 1986 are Top Gun, Ferris Bueller,
Oh, that wins.
Big Trouble in Little China, which is one of my personal favorites. Short Circuit. You guys seen Short Circuit?
No.
Johnny Five. Three
I
Amigos.
haven't seen the other one that you just said either.
Ooh, the Three Amigos.
Big Trouble.
You haven't seen Big Trouble in Little China?
No,
Either
Kurt
have I.
Russell, man.
I haven't seen it.
They're
Either
making
have
a sequel with The Rock.
That's my weekly recommend then.
Wow.
Get your shit together. And the animated Transformers movie.
Hmm.
That was 1986. That's one of my favorite animated movies of all time.
That theme song, the intro song is pretty nice.
You got the touch.
You've got the power.
Now we're going to get pulled off YouTube because we sound just like that
Yeah,
song.
Identical. You forgot a couple, by the way. Stand By Me is a fantastic movie.
It's fine. It's not one of my favorites.
Crocodile Dundee.
Terrible.
The Great Mouse Detective. That is a fucking great movie.
The original American Tail came out that. Five Goes West is a sequel.
And
That came out in 86.
yeah, an American Tail. The original. And then Five Goes West is
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, fair. But The Great Mouse Detective is also another great little animated flick.
What's with all the mouse movies?
I don't know.
Yeah, what's the
Why
obsession
was
with
that the
mice?
year of anthropomorphic mice?
Little Stuart
Little.
Little.
Little Stuart.
That's
Little
his
Stuart
rap
was a
name.
rapper. Little Stuart was his rap name. Will, do you have anything that you want to add to this conversation?
Well, I was 90, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I already kind of threw my.
So who do we declare the winner? Is it just me, de
Yeah.
facto?
I'll let you win.
You're the guest. You pick. Which one of these was the best? What was the best movie you heard out of this list?
Back to the Future.
Okay. So that's 1985.
Yeah.
No.
Back to the Future and The Goonies.
Yeah, that was 85, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
love
on my
both
list
those
here
movies.
somewhere. Yeah, 85. That's a pretty damn good year. I could also push for 92 with Aladdin, Reservoir Dogs, A League of Their Own,
Ooh.
Oh, that's pretty.
Wayne's
solid.
World.
Yeah, that's looking pretty good.
So in 1985 had The Breakfast Club as well.
I don't like that movie.
Pretty good.
I'm indifferent.
Yeah, I guess I'm more ambivalent. Like, I don't hate it. It's just...
I like the Power Rangers version better.
Yeah?
Did you see that new movie?
I did not.
Oh, that's good.
It actually was good.
Yeah.
I did like that Power
It
Rangers.
was one of those
movie.
movies you go in, you're like, man, they're gonna kill my childhood, and then they did all right.
You know what? They really botched the actual theme song. They should have, when they were actually going to go and make that transformer, they should have been Go Go Power Ranger. But
Yeah, I want to hear that guitar riff.
But
Yeah.
they put Kanye in instead. I wasn't mad, but I was like, you could have done.
Yeah,
You could have
Some
done
power.
power. You could give me some of that nostalgia feel.
Yeah, but now Kanye's problematic.
yeah. He won't be back for the sequel.
Okay, well let me just make a couple more.
Make your case.
This is just for 1985. We got Rambo, Rocky IV, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Breakfast Club, Back to the Future, and The Goonies. Color Purple is in there. Never saw that actually.
I'm going to go with... I think I got to go with 85. That's just too many good movies.
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is pretty incredible.
It's one of my top 5 favorites of all time, so that's kind of pushing it.
Nightmare
Yeah.
on Elm Street 2.
Also, this pretty much just excludes anything within the last 15 years because we just aren't even talking about any of those years.
Yeah, 66, so sounded pretty good too.
Eat shit. Yeah, that's can't get aboard that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think we'll give it to 85.
Cool. It is decided.
85, best movie year of all time.
Don't at me or at me. I don't care.
At us,
At the
but don't
Chumpcast.
at us.
Right.
At us, add ADD
ADD, that thing that you have.
Yeah.
All right, we don't have a question for next week yet, but stay tuned, or you can just ask a question.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna Frankenstein the frick out of the scariest villain you could ever think of. So we want to do the face or the mask. The head. That's fine. Then we're gonna do the torso, right?
Sure. This was your idea. I don't know why you're looking at me.
And
Yeah,
some
yeah,
limbs.
yeah.
For the record, though, it's undebatable. 97 was the pinnacle of video games.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Make
like,
your case.
It's like GoldenEye, Star Fox, Grand Theft Auto. There's just like an insane amount of games. Like I'd have to pull up the list, but
Okay. Yeah, I'm sold. I don't have the intelligence in that area to argue with you. But back to the Frankenstein thing. Brick.
All right, we're gonna Frankenstein the scariest monster you could ever think of. That's not Frankenstein, but we're gonna do a head.
Technically,
a head
it
or a
was
mask.
Frankenstein's monster.
Fuck off. We're gonna do a head or a mask, the body, the weapon that they choose, the voice, and then you get to choose their weakness. So we're gonna Frankenstein some freaking Halloween villains.
is that like a resume weakness? Like my greatest weakness is that
Yeah.
I don't, I take too much time.
I try too hard.
Yeah, exactly.
I work too hard. I'm too dedicated.
Yes,
I'm too dedicated to murdering
I'm really
teenagers.
I'm a workaholic. I just love my job.
yes, resume weakness.
Resume weakness.
I love
That's
that
funny.
actually.
All right, so I guess that's our question. You can find us on social media at the Chumpcast, or call or text us at 847-920-6107. I want some stupid answers for this.
Please.
You know what voice I've always hated? Is Chucky's.
Oh, I was
Child's Play.
gonna say your voice. I
I love my voice. I have dulcet tones.
It's nice.
And I do an excellent Darian impression.
Very relaxing.
You have Darian on lock. We could lock that in for sure.
Frank Caliendo of Darien.
Since Will is joining us this week, I thought I would placate him by talking about some video game news.
Oh yeah.
So, a couple weeks ago, Brick, we talked about the future of consoles or the future of gaming altogether. And I just pulled a thought out of my ass that kind of cloud computing would be the way that this goes. There wouldn't be physical consoles anymore. And then I got an email this week that said you can sign up for the Google beta test, and they're testing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And basically you launch it in your Google Chrome browser. Will, can you explain this to me a little bit more?
So
Can
basically,
you talk into your mic while you do it?
what are the limitations
There you
of streaming? Or
So-
what are the limitations of playing video games, I should say? Why is phone gaming so popular?
Because you can take it with you anywhere.
Because everybody already has it.
Yeah.
So the limitations of an Xbox or a PS4 is building an install base. But if you could have something just stream to any device, tablet, phone, computer, and you don't need that hardware up front, then obviously that is very desirable. And I think within the next 5 years, you'll see most of the companies make a real run at bringing you games from a streaming standpoint.
So you don't think we're going to have like PlayStation 5?
No, so there was actually a rumor about what Xbox was planning, and it sounded like another premium high-end console that would be similar to what they have now. I assume Sony would be in the same market space as the current, generation leader. And then, in addition to that, $100 like set top, and that would be able to stream the games. It has like some kind of components in it that helps cut down on the latency and improve performance.
Okay, well, where does Sony just decided to allow crossplay?
Yeah.
Where does that kind of come into this whole situation?
Well, crossplay is just the ability to play across different platforms. So multi-platform games benefit the most from this. So you're not going to see like Sony put out, what's their big one, like Last
God
of
of
Us
War.
or something. You're not going to see that. For somebody like an Activision or an EA,
Red
if
Dead?
they could pool all of their player bases, it helps keep the game alive longer. Because, for example, FIFA is out on EA Origin Premier for PC only, and there's no player base because nobody wants to play FIFA on the computer.
Yeah, that's dumb.
But what if there was crossplay? Then you could go against everybody who's playing on a PS4 or an Xbox where that game is number one in like NPD, like most popular sales for this month. Then it gives your game longevity.
So back to this actual Google beta thing.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to get an invite. They're going to send out a couple hundred of these.
Right.
I'm worried about this because Google Chrome already just destroys the RAM in my computer.
Right.
Just eats all of it. So I can't imagine what it would be like running, a AAA game.
Well, no, see, so that's the thing is they're running that on their end.
So it is actual cloud computing.
Right. It's all on their end, and your inputs, that's the issue with some of the streaming stuff, is the latency. So if you're playing like Tekken, you're a big Tekken player, you're not going to do that on a streaming device because
reaction time,
those frames are important. Exactly. Yeah. So you're not going to have to worry about blowing out your computer if it's streaming from, some server rack that Google owns.
Well, if that's the case, then the only thing that really matters is your internet speed.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. That's the biggest kind of like hurdle, is American bandwidth is actually not that good.
No, it's terrible.
But yeah, if you have like 25 to 50 down, that'll probably be enough for streaming, I would say.
Especially
no more Wi-Fi.
Especially for a single player
if you play it on
like
Wi-Fi, you're just toast.
You need to hardwire that sucker?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Unless you have like some insane, 100 gigabit, Ethernet.
You still have a drop-off, which is crazy.
Right.
But like when I got my PS4 and I did some Twitch streaming, as long as I had it running through the same port, the switch, it ran like my PS4. There was zero lag on it. So it was kind of great. It wasn't dropping frames or anything. So I don't know. I guess I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a good thing for the industry. It's going to make these AAA games more competitive because the phone games are just like, insane billion-dollar enterprises. Like
That's crazy.
I laughed actually. We were watching Venom, and most of these big phone games and like PUBG and like Ring of Elysium, they're like either owned or part owned by this like conglomerate Tencent. Mm-hmm. And I noticed the plug is like Tencent Productions.
Yeah.
They had their hand in this movie too. So that's just how much money these phone games are generating.
That's ridiculous.
Phone games are incredibly popular. It's so I'm blown away by it because I don't play anything on my phone. I don't fucking.
It's kind of a generational thing, and it's also West versus East thing. So it's huge in like China, Korea, and then kids younger than us here.
I get an ungodly amount of requests in my message box for Games Dean about all these mobile things. I'm like, dude, I don't do that. I don't know what the hell you're even talking about.
Get out of my face.
Stay out my DMs.
Did you see this note that I had in here? And I had to make sure I touched on it. Decker wanted me to say, fuck Brick for not getting his 100 GBs of Red Dead joke we talked about last week.
What did he say?
We were talking about our most anticipated Q4 releases, and Decker said, I need 100 GBs of Red Dead stat.
Yeah, the install size is 105 gigs.
Yeah, so as our resident gaming expert, you didn't get that, and he's mad.
What I was supposed to say to that?
Oh, that's clever? I don't know.
That's
I got the install
That's
base.
1/5 of your hard drive if you never upgraded.
I had no fucking idea. So.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention to my hard drive downloads because I just have a terabyte.
Well, it's 4K native on Xbox One X, and then I think it's upscaled on PS4 Pro. So they have the actual like 4K textures. So you're going to see it's going to take more space.
I'm torn on this because I'm pretty sure I'm going to play it on my PS4 Pro.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
You should, honestly.
Unless you have the X. I don't have either, so I'm going to just go PS4.
Fuck you, Brick.
Because Rockstar will never give us the PC release until they get us all to buy it once.
God, I'm so mad because then I'll have to buy it again in 3 years.
Yeah.
I love that.
They get me every time.
We're finally getting Wilpo back into the systems because he's a PC guy now.
Right.
But of course,
they had to hold it out.
I like that you're talking about new game releases and you're still playing Counter-Strike.
Well, it's like a drought out here right now. I'm waiting for, something to sate my appetite.
Well, Spider-Man.
I'm waiting for you to beat it so I can play it for free.
That's a good point. I'm close. I'm probably going to finish it, honestly, tomorrow. Just be, oh, fuck, we did.
Like Assassin's Creed, I would play it, but everything's like in a vortex now because Red Dead is just like a behemoth. 8 different studios have been working on this game for 5 years.
That's the last game. Last game that Rockstar came out with was Grand Theft Auto 5, right?
Yeah.
And that released on their original or Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first copy I had.
So they haven't come out with a real new.
They don't have to.
IP until.
Have you guys heard any of the previews for this game? Just like the systems in place that they're building?
No.
I won't even try to explain it. It's just like I've
heard about all the different animals and shit.
They've taken the level next, just blown it off the roof from what I've heard. Like the people that I trust, they came back from these previews and they're like, yeah, Rockstar's the king. This is just like a once in a lifetime game.
But they've always been the king.
Yeah.
They will never be dethroned. No. I don't even care about all this fucking Battle Royale bullshit.
Until they put it out on Red Dead and then you're like, oh, I'm in.
I'm in.
No, yeah, like Battle Royale is amazing. At the same time, Red Dead is going to be literally mind blowing.
I hope so. Can you imagine if this game was disappointing?
Bro, I don't even want to fathom a universe where that happens. It's like I stand for Halo so hard for so many years, and then
And then
sitting
they
there
crushed your soul.
playing Halo 5, and I'm just like, I lived long enough to see the thing I love just be bad, so that sucks.
Yeah, a wilted flower just dying slowly.
But I have hope that Rockstar won't disappoint me like that.
I don't think so. It just looks too damn good. It
really does.
It's beautiful. It looks freaking beautiful.
All right, last piece of gaming news. I'm assuming that you guys saw the leaked footage of the Harry Potter game.
Yeah. They
And
took
it's
it down, actually, so that confirms
it's
the
mirrored
validity of it.
everywhere.
Yeah. I'm just saying from like, is it real or not standpoint. If Warner Brothers is copyright claiming it, then yeah, it's real.
Also, if this wasn't real, somebody spent a shitload of time rendering this thing.
I've been duped before, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have an example?
There was like a Nintendo prototype. This guy like fully rendered it and had like the start animations and like the home screen and stuff, and it was just not real.
At that point, you might as well just release the game.
Yeah.
Like, finish making it.
Yeah.
Actual, get that money.
Anyways, speaking of cash cows, this is going to sell 1 billion copies.
I'm not the big Harry Potter fan that I used to be. That's my only concern.
You don't have to be.
And I heard it's like an online RPG kind of deal.
The description I read is third-person, open-world, action game. You customize your own wizard, and you're a fifth-year student at Hogwarts.
I'm more interested in it if it's an action game and not like an MMO or something.
But they've had action games, and they were kind of just mediocre.
Yeah. I never played any of them.
They were okay.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I played one. It was solid. It was, solid. I wouldn't give it anything
Depends how
spectacular.
The systems have to be there. It can't just be, here's a game, it has Harry Potter IP, so that makes it good. It has to be a good game that also has Harry Potter, and then I'd be interested.
Well, it's like I said, it's going to sell 1 billion copies anyway.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Harry Potter's too big.
All right, let's talk about some trailers that came out this week. So we just got out of Venom, and obviously the newest preview that came out this week is for Into the Spider-Verse. We get our first look at John Mulaney as Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham.
We talked about earlier. Nick Cage as Spider-Man Noir. So just depressed detective Spider-Man.
Dark.
And Jake Johnson, who plays like Peter Parker, the Peter Parker we all know. He is so obviously the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Like you got the upside down kiss and the train scene where he's like from Spider-Man 2. I love that. I love that reference.
I think they're leaning into like cheesy Spider-Man with the perfect actor, voice actor Jake Johnson. He's awesome.
He is.
He's exploding onto the scene with these animated movies or animated shows too.
Yeah.
Because there's one coming out for Netflix called Hoops, where he is the animated coach for a basketball team and just gets fired up. And he thinks if he makes this shitty basketball team good, he can become like a college coach or a pro coach. So I think I'm looking forward to that too. That's coming around. So Jake Johnson's really exploding onto the scene.
I am so beyond pumped for this movie, and it's kind of sad because this is like I'm more excited for this than I am for any DC movie coming.
Oh yeah,
way more excited than I was for Venom. Probably more excited than I am for Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
this looks amazing
too, dude. I don't know.
Does this seem cut from like the same cloth as like Lego Batman and Lego? Because it kind of just seems like it's going to have a lot of laughs and anybody can enjoy it.
Lego Batman is more meta.
Yeah.
And just straight silly, whereas this is probably going to have some form of consequences. So, Miles Morales.
You're saying that weird. Is he not saying that weird?
Morales.
I'm choking.
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales.
Morales?
Morales.
Morales. Miles Morales.
Morales.
You're saying it with a Z.
He's got it. He's like half black, half Hispanic.
Okay.
Morales.
You would know better than me.
Morales?
I believe so.
I feel like you're...
Shut up. You don't fucking know anything about this.
You say, yes, it's actually Morales.
Miles Morales.
Fuck you.
Miles Morales. Go ahead.
Anyways, in the comics, his mom dies. So there are actual consequences for this. Like, he visits...
His dad dies.
That's in the video game. You've never read a comic book in your life that wasn't Midnighter and Apollo.
Only skimmed that one.
So, you see in this... Oh, God damn it, I keep wanting to talk about this preview and I can't. We'll talk about that in spoilers for Venom.
Fucking insane.
God damn it.
I feel like things are getting heated. Would it be a good time for a mystery segment?
Sure.
Okay. So I came bearing gifts, but only for a winner. So I thought, what better way to award somebody than a little dis or dat? I like to call it Know Your Juice.
Okay.
So I'm going to name 8 different things, and they're either a Jamba juice flavor or a vape juice flavor.
Oh, God.
I'm in.
And if you win, you get the prize that I brought.
Hopefully it's vape juice or Jamba juice.
No, it's definitely vape juice.
The first one is Orange Dream.
Jamba Juice.
No, that's a vape juice. That's a vape juice.
That is Jamba Juice.
Okay, 1-0.
So are we just like blurting these out?
You guys can alternate if you want.
All right, I'll take that one since I just blurted it out.
Fine.
You got the next one.
All right, Mango Tango.
That's Jamba.
Well, obviously I have to go with the other one, right?
You can. There's enough that if you think it's Jamba, you should probably go with. Follow
Mango
your heart.
Tango. No, I'm gonna go Vape Juice.
All right, Ryan's 2-0. That's a vape
Fucking
juice.
insane. Go ahead.
All right, Big Belly Jelly.
That's Vape Juice.
I'm going to go Jamba.
It's vape. PB Chocolate Love.
That's Jamba. I'm going Jamba.
I'm gonna go Jamba too.
Yep, that's Jamba.
Way to cuck me on that one.
Cosmic Chewberry.
Chewberry. That sounds like Vape Juice because that's a made up berry.
I can only go Jamba Juice if I'm going to play catch up here.
Okay, it's vape. You're falling behind.
I'm fucking done.
You've already lost.
This next one is Razzmatazz.
That's actually a Jamba Juice. That's the one I get.
Okay,
All right, that
I
is
made
Jamba
that-
Juice.
made that too easy. And Milk Strawberry.
Vape.
I guess.
Yeah, it's vape. And then my personal favorite, Mango A Go-Go.
Ooh, that's Jamba Juice.
Vape City, boy.
That's Jamba Juice.
Fuck.
You got
So
everyone right.
It seems like there's a clear winner, so I'm going to grab you your prize real quick.
Is it Vape Juice? Please tell me it's Vape Juice. I don't even have
Oh,
a
it's
vape
better.
machine.
I'm trying to help you become a branding expert, so I got you Logan Paul Maverick Extra Large. What is this? Tank top.
What?
What a freaking guest.
What? I don't even know what this is. Can you explain to me the pop culture relevance of this?
So he's a very popular.
I know who
YouTube-
Logan Paul
okay,
is.
Yeah, so it's just be a maverick, put a dent in the universe, that kind of deal.
Wait,
And
does
I-
this mean I'm low gang now?
Yeah, you're part of the low gang because you know your juice.
Because you know your juice, dog. Hit him with that juice, boy.
Oh my god. This is really a Logan Paul tank top.
Yeah,
I don't even know what to do with this.
you gotta wear it to the gym with pride.
That's amazing. I think I might get beat up. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
think
You can't get beat up if you're wearing that sweet Maverick.
that's true.
tank.
I'm just
Yeah.
invincible.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's what you get for being so smart about Jamba Juice.
I'm
Or
literally
vape juice.
speechless.
He is speechless. That's rare.
Thank
Give him
you.
more shares
Thank
so
you,
he shuts
Will.
up
You're
all the-
welcome. That was my mystery segment.
We got to put a picture up of that.
Can you please cover this? I'm literally speechless
here.
right now.
Where do we go from here is the
I have
question.
no fucking idea.
All right, so we got trailers and we got a new Into the Spider-Man Spider-Verse. We already talked about that.
I've just
Sick.
been told that I'm low gang.
You
I
are
have a
low
say in the
gang.
matter.
He didn't have a choice. He was presented with it.
Sometimes low gang
It's
chooses you,
amazing.
man. You don't choose it; it chooses you.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna compose myself real quick.
All right, so next trailer we got was the Harley Quinn trailer, right? Kelly Cuoco.
Kaylee Cuoco.
Whatever.
You're saying it weird. You're saying it weird, bro.
Quoquo?
Kaylee Cuoco. Whatever. Fuck Cuoco.
So this is coming only to DC Universe, and this is kind of like R-rated, I guess.
Yeah, it had Ivy was like that know-it-all bitch who's like, I don't care. I'm in jail. I don't care.
In Poison Ivy's defense, if you spent more than 20 minutes with Harley Quinn, you would want to blow your brains out.
I'm a big fan of Harley Quinn. I could hold my own.
No, you're a big fan of Margot Robbie.
Yeah, and Kelly Cuoco. What the hell's her name?
Kaylee Cuoco.
Okay.
Did you guys think this looked good?
I think it looks hilarious.
I am indifferent on it, but I like Harley Quinn, and I'm not going to get the DC universe to see it, though.
See, I
I
feel
haven't.
like it was a little cringe. Like it was a little too like, oh, you want to be dark like DC, and then Batman shows up and they're like, no fun allowed. Like they're a little bit too like, look at us, we know what the problems of our shows are. And this
How much
won't
of
be
that
like it.
is you just being soured by DC properties?
That probably has a part to do with it.
The last
But at the
good-
same time, if they make a funny show, then I'm going to watch it.
I'm absolutely going to give this a shot. They did take a big swing at Donald Glover's failed Deadpool cartoon.
True. I'm actually buttered that
Oh.
didn't come through.
That one stung.
that one went over my head.
Yeah. So they canceled that FX show that he was supposed to do, but that's funny. And
That
also,
is funny. Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
another very recognizable voice, Diedrich Baker as Batman. You know, Diedrich Baker, he was... Oh,
Top
boy.
3 Batman.
He is. You know Office Space?
Yeah.
He has that
The
neighbor
stapler?
who's with like the mullet.
Oh, no.
That's Diedrich Baker. No,
I
man.
can't picture him now.
You say something like that, get your ass kicked. That's Diedrich Baker.
Yeah.
I got to look him up now.
He's been in a ton of TV shows and shit. He was in the kind of the group with Drew Carey in the Drew Carey show
Right.
when it was like Ryan Stiles and Drew
Yeah.
Carey. Yeah. He's recognizable, but he has a great voice. Let's see other trailers. We saw our first look
Yeah, I know
at
that guy.
Hulu's Into the Dark, the series coming from Blumhouse. This actually looks kind of good.
Yeah.
I'm in for this.
Yeah, it looks funny.
Unfortunately, it doesn't come out until the end of this month. So does...
It's like a Halloween release, isn't it?
Yeah. So they're going to do one of these every month for the holiday, whatever holiday's in that month. And the other thing I saw that comes out at the end of this month, which would have been great early October, is Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah.
That looks really good. And in the new preview, you do see Salem the Cat.
Salem the Cat.
Is this a cartoon?
No, it's a darker version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, though.
Oh.
So Sabrina was actually a comic first, and then it was a TGIF.
TV show, yeah. TGIF on ABC.
It was.
With what's her face? Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah, so you see Hilda and Zelda, her aunts, in this too. This is way darker. I have very high expectations for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch the preview yet, but I like the concept behind it, honestly.
2 more trailers. Vice with Christian Bale.
We have... I want to talk about 2 actually after that, too.
Okay, sure. Vice with Christian Bale. And this also has Sam Rockwell as George Bush. Steve Carell is in it. Amy Adams is in it. Give this movie an Oscar right now. This is Christian Bale's Oscar. Who the fuck was casting this movie and was like, man, Christian Bale would be great for this?
Yeah, he'd be perfect.
All I know is he looks fantastic. He put on a couple pounds. Is there anything better in an actor's career than being like, oh, you have to eat a bunch of cake and be a fat fuck for a while?
He does this all the time.
Yeah, he goes super skinny, then he gets buff.
What was the mechanic? The maniac? What was it?
The
machinist.
Machinist, yeah. But also, he got fat for that movie with Bradley Cooper. God damn it. Why can't I think of the fucking name of this?
Bradley Cooper and Christian Bale in the same movie together. Oh, was it where Bradley Cooper's the cop? He's like the undercover cop, right? And Jennifer Lawrence is in that movie?
Yes, Jennifer Lawrence is in that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. That was a good movie.
I'm sorry. I got to look up the name of this. It's American Hustle.
American Hustle.
God, that was going to kill me.
Yeah,
I have zero memory right now. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. So this looks great.
Honestly, Sam Rockwell as George W. Bush had me sold in the previews immediately.
Oh my God. And he's just like such a
saying we got a deal.
Down home boy. Like it's...
Are we doing this?
Yeah, so we're doing this.
If you haven't seen the trailer for Vice yet, please go watch it. It looks absolutely riveting.
I didn't think I'd have any interest, and then I finally watched the trailer, and I was like, oh, damn.
All I saw was stills of Christian Bale in the makeup, and I didn't know this trailer was dropping, and I was just floored by it.
How much waterboarding is there going to be in this movie?
Hopefully a ton.
You signed my waterboarding kit?
Thank you, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Can I also deter right here? Wasn't there an episode with Sarah Palin for that show?
She threatened to sue them and brought forth served them papers.
And so they didn't air it because of that.
Right.
Did you see the plug for it at the end? There's special unintended media consultant Sarah Palin.
I did not.
She generated so much buzz.
She did though.
Yeah, it was in the credits of the last episode.
It's like that movie that Seth Rogen did about North Korea. Once everybody says you can't see it, then everybody wants to see it.
Right.
That's such a good marketing tactic.
I feel like I need to put on my Logang tank right now. It is getting a little warm in here. I'm going to crack this window.
I have been farting aggressively.
Nothing worse than flying somewhere with Brickheado sitting next to you.
When did we fly together?
Seattle.
Was that bad?
Sorry, I farted. Yeah, I know, and everybody in the next 3 rows knows.
Jesus.
I don't recall these events happening. I feel like you're making them up. Even though, right now,
I'm
not proving my case at the moment.
We got a new trailer for season 3 of Daredevil. This looks amazing. More hallway fights. Probably Bullseye, who is imitating Daredevil. This was a big time storyline. This was Dark Avengers when Norman Osborn was the mayor of New York City. Or no, the president. One or the other. Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio, or Kingpin, was the mayor. Norman Osborn was the president. And he put together the reverse Avengers, where it was all villains who dressed up like actual superheroes. But we also get big naked baby Vincent D'Onofrio, who looks very weird. Very excited for this, though. I think it's going to be excellent. I love this show.
Did you see what he tweeted today?
No.
Somebody was like, I can't believe we're never going to get Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin in the Marvel, on the big screen or something. And he just tweeted back, who says?
He is really into this story.
Yeah.
He loves it. And he always tweets like Chris Evans, I loved your movie. He's pretty unhinged. He seems like a crazy person.
This is well cast.
Yes, definitely. Brick, what did you have that you wanted to talk about?
I had the new Clint Eastwood movie called Warren, I believe. What was it?
Mule?
More close-up shots of Clint
It's
Eastwood.
Mule.
Mule. Yeah,
Because he's a drug mule.
He's a drug mule at like 95. He's like, I still got to do this for my family.
How old is he?
He's fucking
I will look
old.
that up.
103.
Fucking ancient.
He has the biggest. I think I called it worn because that's his face. It's just worn. It's just like it's so weathered down. And
Now I actually want to see him as Grimace.
so do I. I think we need to make a new McDonald's movie where Clint Eastwood is Grimace and he's just angry.
With like CGI or just painted purple?
He is 88.
I wouldn't mind a lazy painted
Grimace,
purple.
low budget Grimace.
Yeah. Who would be the Hamburglar in that case?
Who plays a good heist guy?
Like one of those, man, what's the name of that movie? They like robbed all the banks.
Ocean's 11?
No, this isn't going to go anywhere.
Hell or High Water.
Fair enough.
Hell or High Water, that's it.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Dude, that guy would be a great
Chris
handler.
Pine.
Ben
Yeah.
Foster?
Either of them.
You just love Ben Foster.
I love Ben
We'll
Foster.
get into that
He's
later.
a psychopath.
All right, what is your other movie?
I think that was actually it. The other one was The Upside, which is
No.
okay. It looked okay. It's
I'm
just
done with Kevin Hart.
It's Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston. And it released today. The trailer released today. It looked okay.
Yeah, that's
It's-
the nicest thing I could say about it is it looks okay.
Yeah. It looks like some Kevin Hart forced jokes, and Bryan Cranston is a full paraplegic. He can only use quadriplegic. He can only use his brain. That's it.
He's a brain
Moving
paraplegic.
on. I'm not going to bother delving into that.
Let's cut that.
Deep dive.
That's staying. All right.
News to us. Boop. You got some work to do,
It's gonna be a heavy edit tonight.
Yeah, before he goes to Disney World, the happiest place on earth, which is not something you're used to.
Yeah, because I'm usually stuck in a room with you.
Fair.
All right, Ryan Reynolds has signed on to star in a new film called Free Guy, concerning a bank teller learning that he's an NPC, a non-player character, in a violent open-world video game. So basically, think Grand Theft Auto, and he's just a background character.
Yo, I am fucking immediately sold on this. What
knew
is
you
this
would be.
movie called?
Free Guy.
Yeah, I'm super into this.
Wow, I'm super sold on this. Wow.
This is the whole, like,
What do
everything
they
is
do in
actually
the
a simulation.
background? Yeah.
I love that psycho conspiracy stuff, and all of a sudden you don't have any control over what's actually going to happen.
Sounds funny. Well, polar opposite, Netflix is going to try out choose your own adventure style shows, starting with the next season of Black Mirror, which is coming at the end of this year. This is probably a terrible idea, considering that I almost never make good decisions in actual real life.
It gives rewatch value, I suppose. And what do they team up with Telltale Games or something? Didn't Telltale like go out of business?
They went
or something?
under.
Yeah, that's brutal. That whole
Worst Man
story.
Alive.
Yeah, they were going to be up there. I had a 2-part Worst Man Alive. They
Oh,
were
we'll
up
get there.
But Choose Your Own Adventures, I like literally grew up on them. Like
Yeah.
R.L. Stein, like
Hit him
Goosebumps.
with the Goosebumps.
And I would cheat. I'm not afraid to say
Yeah,
that.
you put your finger.
I would hold the page and I would see if it went past like a page or two, you were probably in the clear. Sometimes they would get you 3-4 pages down the line.
Oh, you're
Then
dead.
you die. You already took your finger off. You don't remember where it was, so you're back to the beginning. They make you read the book twice.
Bastards.
Fuck
Did you guys see
R.L.
this?
Stein. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to say fuck you, R.L. Stein. Again.
Very
Fair
deceptive.
enough.
Make me die on 1 or 2 pages, okay?
Did you guys see the screenshot of David Harbour's Hellboy?
No.
I saw the movie trailer preview when you went to IMDb.
Looks just like the old guy.
He does look just like him.
No, he doesn't.
He's got bigger horns.
He looks way less corny.
Yeah. His horns aren't
God damn
cut
it.
yet.
Fuck you and your pop-up ads.
Bring up the other guy. Oh, never mind.
Wait,
He already-
why does
Ron
he
Perlman.
still have his
That's what you're
horns?
talking
Is that lower heavy?
He hasn't ground them off yet. That's what he does in the comics. He
Yeah.
cuts them.
He looks cooler with horns.
I really
He does
thought
look
you guys
cool.
would be more into this.
He does look cooler with horns. I'm not a big Hellboy guy.
You're missing out.
Yeah, no, the 2 movies that I saw were like, oh, they're okay. I didn't really.
The comics are better, but
Hey, we're back to a comic book podcast.
speaking of comic books, we maybe saw Jake Gyllenhaal maybe as Mysterio, except he's not wearing his fishbowl helmet. This
So-
is from the upcoming Spider-Man Far From Home movie.
Yeah, so
Oh,
what would he even look like without the helmet is
He'd
signature?
be wearing a big cape.
the
with the
helmet's
big purple cape. Right?
Yeah, green suit,
Yeah.
purple cape.
For a second, I thought you said like Mysterion. Thought he was getting like a live adaptation
South Park.
South Park.
I'd be okay with that.
So,
Sorry.
Mysterion.
I'm flying through. God damn it. I'm flying through this news because we're running long. Netflix is going to be the next studio to try and make something watchable out of the Chronicles of Narnia books, and I don't care.
Yeah, zero zilch. You shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
You fucking
We're good here.
Is that YA?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, probably not. This is too old to be YA, right?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Apparently, a Dance Dance Revolution movie is in the works.
I'm on board.
How do you make a Dance Dance Revolution movie?
Film my life from 12 to 14.
Yeah, he was DDR God over here. He was doing the freaking dance moves, holding the bar, doing the flips.
What was your song?
Can't Stop Falling in Love. I would turn it so that the notes were invisible and they would only show up like at the last second. And I had like, hit a few notes with my knees, came off the back of the machine to hop over the bar to like hit another note. Yeah, that was a nice party trick.
He put on a fucking show.
Wow.
Yo, Wilpo's got the moves. What is this?
Now I play DDR for one song and I'm drenched in sweat. I'm like tagging
can you
out.
still do this?
No, I can't. I mean, I could still do like, the invisible stuff, but I just gas out too quickly.
Yeah,
My song was Drop the Bomb.
Oh, that's a good one. It's time to drop the bomb.
Yep.
I was never coordinated enough to do the fucking left to right. I always like lost my footing because I didn't know where the fuck to step.
So this has a description, and this project will explore a world on the brink of destruction where only... I should do this in a dramatic voice, right?
Yeah, let's hear it.
This project will explore a world on the brink of destruction where the only hope is to unite through the universal language of dance.
It's like Footloose.
Yeah. Save the world. You gotta do the Dougie.
Yeah, you gotta hit the arcades, the laser quests of the world, and put your quarters in.
This sounds so dumb. I thought this was a good idea.
I am
Sometimes I just
sold.
don't get like how this can get greenlit, and then things that people already love are just like, nah, throw you in the trash can.
Yeah, like Deadpool. Donald Glover's Deadpool.
That was a studio dispute.
Then again, I will go see this.
Yeah, probably.
I'm gonna see this.
This will be like Pixels, where I want to see how bad it is.
Right.
Damn it. Disney's latest atrocity of a live-action remake is going to be Lilo and Stitch.
Yuck.
Who's gonna be Lilo and Stitch? Was we got Zenyatta?
Zendaya.
Whatever.
Stitch is going to be Danny DeVito.
See, now you're actually selling it to me. I was out until you said that.
I'm just picturing him. Remember in the beginning of the third Austin Powers, where he's like mini-me, he's just like swearing and shooting a gun. That's the Stitch I want.
Yeah. Just give him blue clip-on ears and don't even give him a costume.
All right, so what's going to be better? The Lilo and Stitch remake or the live-action Sonic that we know we're getting, or the Mega Man movie they just announced?
Okay, well, honestly, the Sonic movie has a great cast.
You gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
So I'm Team Sonic on this one, I think.
I agree with that.
This was really just my way to introduce that they're making a Mega Man movie.
Who we casting as Mega Man?
Mega Man cartoon was...
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. This guy's got an eye for ideas.
I swear to God, it's either, if anybody brings up casting for the last year and a half, it's either Danny DeVito or it's The Rock.
Yep.
That's the only two options we have for casting ever.
I don't care.
Or Ben Foster. That's me.
Maybe we'll get a female Mega Man. Mega Woman.
Wow.
Mega-
It's like the Ghostbusters reboot.
Mega them. Mega they.
Mega don't assume my gender.
Yeah,
Mega
fluid
women,
man.
but with a Y instead of a A.
Mega fluid. So we're going to be fucking...
All right, we're moving on. Jon Favreau's live-action Star Wars TV show finally has a name and description. So here's the description he posted on Instagram. I won't do the dramatic voice this time. After the stories of Jango and Boba Fett, another warrior emerges in the Star Wars universe. The Mandalorian is set after the fall of the Empire and before the emergence of the First Order. Yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to read the rest.
This is a cartoon?
This is live action. This is coming to Disney's streaming service, I think, in 2020.
Okay. So that's the way they're going to get you to pony up $10 and hope you forget about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe now we'll get a Mandalorian that isn't a total baby back bitch.
Yeah.
Like Boba Fett.
Bring back
Well, I
Darth
wouldn't-
Maul.
If they're going to do this as a prequel, then he's going to be dead before both of Fetts, right?
This comes in between Boba Fett and the newer movies.
Okay. Yeah, you still got to
Did you guys see? You saw the new Star Wars, right?
We see pretty
Yeah.
much everything.
The best part was the Darth Maul hologram, right?
Hell yeah.
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 Absolutely.
I actually didn't hate that movie.
I liked
No.
it. I thought it was good.
It's entertaining.
Fine. Yeah.
Just everybody wants to hate on Star Wars now because it's cool.
Right.
I thought I saw a article about the majority of the Star Wars hate was from Russian bots, or is that full double fake news?
You just
on me?
read a headline. You didn't read a story.
I was perusing on my homepage before I went somewhere else.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Russian bots trolled Star Wars. That's all I got.
So I actually read the story, and something like this has to go through peer review, where like this is an actual study that was done. I think it was University of California, but they were saying like of the negative comments, upwards of 50% of them were either not real humans or from a Russian location. That is a massive allegation with something that hasn't been peer reviewed that people are just running with. And now you read a headline and everybody's like, oh, it was Russian bots. I have no fucking idea what happened in this scenario. And I feel like every time something bad happens, everybody's just like, Russian bots.
Did he sign off on that as like Star Wars scholar at the bottom?
It could have been.
It's peer reviewed by Star Trek and they're like, no, it's not true.
Maybe. It's somebody. This is a Disney funded study.
Yeah, this is
100%
smear campaign. Everybody loved it.
Yeah, I don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. I was going to try and go through this without bringing that up, but thanks, Brick.
Cheers.
Best.
We the best!
Worst.
The worst! She's the worst person in the world. Huge, skank, terrible, but thank you.
Will, as our guest, I will let you kick off the best man alive.
Or worst.
I'm only going negative this week.
Lay it on me.
All right, so we already kind of touched on the Telltale thing.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of liquidated their studio when a round of funding didn't come through and didn't have a contingency plan, so they just laid everybody off, except for a skeleton crew that was only going to finish the Minecraft Netflix crossover. And then just today, one of the employees said, oh, remember that skeleton crew? Yeah, we just got fired too.
Wouldn't you just quit in that scenario? Like you're going to be worked into the ground. You don't know that your next paycheck is coming.
Right.
Fuck off.
So they were halfway through a current season of the Walking Dead video game.
Yeah.
2 episodes in, and now the 3rd and 4th episode are probably never going to come out.
Oh my God, they're going to Game of Thrones.
But also equal worst people alive are the people who are like, oh, we don't care about the people who lost their jobs. When are you going to finish this game?
Yeah, that's shitty.
Yeah.
These are
like,
actual
you should
people.
work for free if you really love the game.
Oh, God, that's
the worst. A
argument.
real good hot take. Second part, worst alive, is the writer of the Witcher series. Are you guys familiar with The Witcher?
Yeah.
I read this story.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
So he basically doesn't believe in video games. Like he doesn't think that they're a real art form or they have any merit. So he wanted a lump sum of money from CD Projekt Red when they were like in their infancy and they wanted to get the rights. They said, oh, we'll give you royalties instead because we don't have the money. He kind of drew a line in the sand and said, no, I want $10,000 up front for the licensing of the Witcher series for you to use in a video game. Fast forward, Witcher probably generated, hundreds of millions of dollars. Now he's suing them and he says he wants $16 million in royalties. And their response was just, no.
He's never going to win that case.
No.
Oh, dude, what a botch. I need my $10,000
But
now.
anything that distracts from CD Projekt Red working on Cyberpunk, I'm against. Very strongly.
Agreed.
So those are my worst alive. They're both in the gaming realm.
We're still a year out from that game, though, right?
Yeah, at least.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Looks fucking sick.
That's going to be one of those Red Deads where it's, once in a generation
I hope
game.
you're right.
Yeah.
Let's go positive here.
Yeah, let's bring
my
it back
best
up.
man alive is the dude at Fenway Park who was sitting on top of the Green Monster.
What an arm.
Who threw back a home run ball that Giancarlo Stanton hit and hit him as he was rounding second base.
He
was on the green. This dude had a cannon.
Wow.
And he was trying to hit Giancarlo Stanton.
Absolutely. He one-hopped him. That's a fucking...
Where did he hit him?
It was like in the arm.
Yeah.
Like he didn't hurt him.
Right.
But you see Giancarlo look around and like, what the fuck?
What the hell just hit me?
Like, did I just get hit by an outfielder?
Isn't that Giancarlo?
I don't know. Stanton.
Giancarlo. Yeah,
You're saying it wrong.
you are saying it wrong.
funny.
You're saying it wrong. All right, Brick, who's your best man alive?
Best couple alive.
Me and Erica?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, congratulations.
Justin
You and
Timberlake
your right
and
hand?
Jessica Biel.
Oh.
Justin Timberlake had a show in Ohio, and then the next day he just went to a random school and just like went to a school and just like hung out with like a bunch of like kids.
Wow. What a great story.
No, they just like randomly came into like a school and like would just like surprised everybody that they were just, like, imagine if Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel came to your middle school and just like were there and hung out.
I would assume that everyone in my school had cancer and this was some kind of weird Make-A-Wish situation. Like, we've been poisoning you with asbestos in the walls for the entire time you've been here.
Flint
Enjoy the cough,
situation.
but also you can hang out with Jessica Biel today.
She won't even name her son Batmo.
All right, can I hit you with a questionable man of the week?
Let's go.
Drake. She's like best friends with the girl from Stranger Things.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah. He like texts her and like hangs out with her. She did like an interview.
Dude, she's like 15.
Exactly. And she's like, yeah, he texts me like he misses me and stuff. And I'm just like, what? I know they're both like child stars, but at the same time, it's like, or were child stars, I should say. But it's a little sus.
No, he's a grown ass man.
Yeah. Why are you texting a 15-year-old?
Where are her parents?
Yeah. That's
weird.
my questionable man of the
very
week. Not best or worst.
That makes me feel gross inside.
Well, we hit our diddler quote of the week.
God damn it.
Queasy.
For the record, I haven't brought up diddlers in weeks.
That's true.
I'm not throwing any allegations out there.
That's exactly what you're doing.
We just
allegedly.
We all just feel a little uneasy about
I'm not saying he did, but I'm saying if it did happen, I wouldn't be surprised.
God damn it, Will.
Millie seems cool though, but at the same time, she's 15, and Drake, you're just be an adult, I guess. Let's drop it.
Eric Ebron in the end zone.
True.
Boom.
Wow.
Let's move on to our movie review for the week, which is Venom, the highly awaited Tom Hardy flick. So there is no audience score on Rotten Tomatoes yet, but the critics have given this a 30%. There's another story, similar to your Russian bot story, saying that Lady Gaga fans are giving this movie negative reviews on the internet because they want people to go see A Star is Born instead.
I don't get, like, are those Lady Gaga fans like actual movie review critics? Like,
no, it's not like Rotten Tomatoes critics. It's just
Rotten Tomatoes critics just fucked on and shit on it.
They're
anyway.
just idiots.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
They're just fart sniffers.
It's like IMDb. You just go and you make an account and you say 0. This movie was boring. Venom sucks.
Pretty much. That's what happens with Star Wars. But I did check the IMDb score, which was 7.1.
Yeah.
So take what you will from that.
There wasn't enough Gaga fans out there.
I guess.
Yeah,
I guess. There are too many.
I didn't know there was such a loyal fan base of Lady Gaga fans.
They're monsters, right? Isn't that what she calls them?
Yeah.
I'm going to see if there is a updated score.
See, unless Lady Gaga propagated
it. Venom went down 1%. So we still don't have an audience score, but it's down. Oh, it said 29%.
It did say 29% as a witness.
Yeah, it says 29 right there. Look, if you want to see a Venom movie, go see this. It was really enjoyable. It's not a masterpiece.
It's not what you'd call a great Marvel movie, but it's a Marvel movie.
It's not a Marvel movie. It's a Sony movie.
It's an association with Marvel.
And I was actually joking with Brickheado because I thought it was going to be a train wreck. I had no expectation, and it said in association with Marvel. And I was like, Marvel probably doesn't want them to put that on there. Don't associate with us.
In association
making
with
this
Tencent.
peasant movie. Yeah, exactly. Those were the two stings.
How did you put your expectations? You took them outside?
I tried them like Old Yeller. I took it outside and just shot it in the head and went into the movie thinking this thing was going to be an egg. And
Zero
I was pleasantly surprised.
Those are the movies that I enjoy the most because I just expect nothing.
Yeah.
And then I get a little bit and I'm like, hey, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, this is fun.
I was expecting a super flop, boring, worst movie of all time.
I was going in there like, all right, how bad can it be? Is it like old Hulk movies or is it Fantastic Four reboots? Just how much of a stinker are we in for? Because when you see 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, you're like, there's not much hope here.
That's the problem with Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. More than one person has told me stop reading Rotten Tomatoes scores. I just feel like it's ubiquitous with movies now. You see it everywhere. They do live stream reveals of what the score for an upcoming blockbuster movie is going to be.
It's part of the hype.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They got this one wrong. But
conversely, you ever see like a movie that's sitting at 100%?
That sucks.
I'll give it a shot. Then you go and you're bored to tears in the theater. You're like, what are these people?
Well, an example of that was Lady Bird.
Oh,
and Lady Bird wasn't a bad movie, but it definitely wasn't for me.
No, I wasn't the target audience.
No, not at all.
Me
and
by
that's
my name.
fine. It's Oscar bait. Well, it was for somebody, but it definitely wasn't our demographic.
Right.
I had zero interest in that movie.
Yeah. When you see a movie at 100, though, it's just like does something to your brain where you're like, oh, I can't miss this movie because everybody loves it.
Then shouldn't we all go see Paddington 2?
Is that at 100?
I think so. It was last time.
Let's go check.
So ridiculous.
Mandy got like a 92.
Did it really?
Well, yeah, Mandy.
I'm telling you, that movie was awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's one where they got it
Sometimes
right.
the system isn't broken.
I'm sorry. Back to Venom. So this is directed by a guy named Ruben Fleischer, who did Zombieland and 30 Minutes or Less. He loves him some Jesse Eisenberg. Full disclosure, we just got out of this movie. It's Thursday night at about 9:30. Holy shit, we've been rambling.
We've been rambling.
From
man.
a small town called Ramblin' On.
Everybody knows this is Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, who sadly replaces Topher Grace from the Raimi movies.
Disappointing.
The best
Needed
symbiote
Ugh,
was
Yes.
Spider-Man when he got infected. He hit that dance scene.
gross.
If that's
Oh
what-
my God! Yeah, were you snapping in the street?
He's walking down the
He's
street
got, like,
like he's
the
a
comb
cool
over his
dude. All the ladies love him.
It's terrible. We also get Riz Ahmed as Carlton Drake. I wanted to bring up again that he was a rapper because I had no fucking idea. I was on his IMDb page, or no, it was his Wikipedia page. It's like, yeah, famous rapper, Riz MC. I'm like, what?
I need to check it out.
You don't.
Is he like a SoundCloud rapper?
No, he has music videos on YouTube.
Oh, really?
It's
These are must
not
watch.
good.
These are
He's-
must watch.
Very British.
Yeah.
It's not good
I'm
rap.
not on board for that.
Okay. We also get Jenny Slate as Dr. Skirth and the dude from Veep, whose name I don't know and didn't write down. He is Eddie Brock's ex-fiance's husband, the doctor.
He was very likable.
He's from Veep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
very
He's like the
likable.
dickhead in Veep.
He is. He's actually funny.
I mean, everybody in Veep's a dickhead.
I like
but
it. I like him in Veep, actually. I
Yeah,
like
he's-
him in this movie, too, Ag.
He's funny. But I guess I don't have extensive notes on this, so we're going to talk about it for a little bit, and then we'll get into spoilers. We'll just go through kind of what we liked, and then we'll talk about what we didn't. I thought that this movie held together fairly well. It had a cogent plot that made sense from start to finish. The dialogue wasn't the best, but it was passable. It had really good laughs in it, surprisingly.
They had, definitely had some cheesy one-liners, but a lot of the duality between Tom Hardy and Venom was the best part
You
of
got
the
it.
whole thing. Oh, yeah.
He asked me if duality or dichotomy was the right word, and it was duality. You remember it. I'm proud of you.
But I knew it was one of the two.
And now you will always remember.
I will always remember.
Until
Well, it's
next week.
debatable.
Until next week.
Until 5 minutes later.
What did you think about the acting in this movie?
Tom Hardy, he was good. I was ready to just like, I came in so negative that I was like, if he just puts out a flop, he's going to be on my poop list. I got a list of actors I won't see, and he would have
Who
gone
are
on
these
the list.
actors? I'm just curious.
Mark Wahlberg, he's like the captain of that list.
He's like full on in propaganda mode now.
Yeah, I won't see anything that he puts out.
Amazing.
Jennifer Garner.
Yeah,
I fucking hate Jennifer Garner.
yeah, she's out.
She got a big head.
She has a giant head, and she ruined Ben Affleck.
Did she? And with what?
Now he's in rehab.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Thanks,
But
Jennifer Garner.
the acting in this was good. I thought the cast was good.
Thanks for getting us back on track there.
The pacing was good. The humor was actually probably the most surprising aspect because I thought it was just going to be boring. And then the whole time I was actually laughing.
I was worried that it was going to take itself too seriously, and
Same.
it definitely did not.
Yeah, it was a good blend.
And that was back to the duality of Tom Hardy and Venom.
Now you're just going to beat that word. in the ground.
Absolutely. No, but honestly, Tom Hardy playing a psychopath was amazing. Like once he started losing his mind and hearing Venom's voice in his head, and he's like, wait. He's like freaking out. I lost it. I thought that was actually just, good acting and just all around good.
It was probably like halfway through the movie. I was like, who's doing the voice of Venom? And then it just kind of clicked and I was like, oh, it's for sure just Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, yeah, he's killing it.
You look like you were going to say something else.
Nope.
Well, that's okay. This is why we're not live streaming.
Yeah,
I
sure.
didn't have full prep for this.
That makes sense too. How do you think he was in the early part of the movie? How do you think
That was
Tom
the
Hardy-
weakest part.
I agree, but how do you think he played like investigative journalist?
He didn't fit,
Believable?
in my opinion.
No.
He's too tough.
He
He
is.
doesn't
Yeah, he's
strike me
trying
as
to be too cool,
a
and that's not what
sleuthy,
journalists
like
do.
shadowy journal figure.
He could do like a Vice documentary,
Right.
and that would be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't agree.
I didn't buy it.
I didn't buy him into that. Like, oh, I'm going to really uncover you as this.
Yeah, the people I've taken down. I was one of them.
Why does he walk like he's constantly about to fall forward? Am I the only one that
It
noticed
just
that?
looks
It's a
tough.
power move.
It looks like he has like a bum leg.
He's just got such big shoulders that it anchors
His
him
traps
forward.
are
Traps?
still massive.
He still has the Tommy traps from fucking
Yes,
the
from
Warrior.
the fighter.
Dude. Yeah.
Or not the fighter.
Warrior.
Warrior. The fighter was the one with Christian Bale.
Yeah, dude, he fucking just like leans into it. It's actually, yeah.
He does one of those
power move
Mission
of all time.
Impossible like shotgun where he reloads his biceps.
Okay, so one thing I didn't like about this movie was the villain. I didn't like Drake. I didn't buy into him at all. I thought the threats that he was making towards Eddie Brock and like the girlfriend and Jenny Slate just seemed to be like, the way he said it like wasn't threatening at all.
Aren't we like a step away from that being Elon Musk?
Yeah.
He is the first thing I thought of was immediately besides
I bought
Aladdin.
it though. He let his money do the talking. He's just going to bully you into a shittier life.
I guess, and he did that with Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
He literally said that, yeah, well, enjoy your life. Like, as you
Right,
left.
he's
And
just
then,
gonna-
well, Tom Hardy's like, well, was that a threat? He's like, no, he just said enjoy your life. But then it turns out that he ruined his entire life. But at the
It
same
wasn't a threat, it was a promise.
Yeah, he came through.
Yeah. And then, but then when he talked about, like, to Jenny Slate, like, oh yeah, and how are your kids? Just like, he asked it like, oh, how are your kids? Not like, well, then how are your kids? I don't know. But he just didn't, his
I
threats
bought that.
were,
Yeah, I
don't know,
bought
his
it
threats
too.
were- I thought the threats were.
I mean, it's a little thin in terms of writing, like, very rich scientist man has evil plans, but at the same time, I bought him as that character.
It was the weakest part of the movie besides the fake journalism by Tom Hardy.
So let's talk a little bit about Eddie Brock as a character. And they reference this loosely, and I'm guessing that, well, you guys wouldn't know this because you didn't read the comics, but Eddie Brock talks in this movie about how, well, actually, Annie, his fiance at the time, talks about how he was disgraced and kicked out of New York.
In New York, yeah, I caught that.
So there's an actual story behind that, and it's why, in the comic books, Eddie Brock hated Spider-Man. So he was this big-time journalist in New York. They mentioned the Globe was the
Right.
paper that he worked for in New York. He gets a confession from somebody who is talking only to him, and there's a serial killer at the time that they dubbed the Sin Eater, which, because comics, that's a comic book name.
Yeah.
But this guy who was like a serial confessor, he confessed for a bunch of shit that he didn't do to get attention. So Eddie Brock publishes this story, and everybody's like, oh, they finally caught him. Except then Spider-Man catches the actual Sin Eater murderer. So then now Eddie Brock hates Spider-Man, and Spider-Man had just come back from space with the black suit. So that's how the Clintar symbiote actually gets back to Earth the first time.
Right.
So he's in the church, and this is actually semi-relevant to the Raimi movies because that's how he started to get the symbiote off of
Right.
him. It's like the bell tower, right? The big vibrations get rid of the symbiote. But Eddie
I remember
Brock,
that was in the animated series.
so Eddie Brock is in the church because he was raised as Catholic, and he's like, he loses his job. His wife divorces him. He's disgraced. He's got to move all the way to San Francisco to get away from New York, start over. So he's in this church, and at the same time, Spider-Man is ringing this bell to get the symbiote off of him. That's how the symbiote finds Eddie Brock because he's the next closest person, and they both manifest in their hatred for Spider-Man, and that's how you get Venom. So I thought that was a neat nod to the comic book story.
I caught that. I didn't know the whole backstory on it, but I caught them saying like he was disgraced in New York. Seems like a thin reason to hate Spider-Man. I didn't do
It's
my
a
job.
shitty reason.
I didn't do my job well enough, and this guy,
Yes.
yeah,
And they kind of talk about that here too, with him not getting sources for a story, and he gets
Right.
fired, and fuck you. Yeah.
but he's very likable as Tom Hardy versus, you know,
Yeah. Eddie Brock was not a good guy.
Yeah.
He
in
was
the
an
comics
ass.
at first.
He was an
Now
ass.
he's like, okay, but sure.
right.
But that would have been a great, honestly, a transition into if Marvel was fully associated with this movie. Once he gets back from Far From Home, carry the symbiote back, and that's how you could start the whole Venom series.
Yeah, I could be
Would
okay
have
with
been a
that.
smooth transition, in my opinion. But this was not terrible.
Well, Spider-Man is space dust.
Come on, you know better than that.
So don't talk
I just
about
wanted to
that
rile
stuff.
you up, but then I put the back in the cage.
All right, what did you guys not like about this?
The CGI.
Was it bad, or was it just the way that they used it?
No, it was fine for 80% of the movie, but when there was like, and you said this, the shaky cam and like
Yeah.
some of the fights, it was fine when he was beating up like FBI people.
It did not go out well when he fought Riot.
Yeah, basically you just had two CGI blobs fighting each other, and there's a couple cool stills where they slowed it down.
Yeah,
But other than that, it's really hard to know what's going on.
right.
It was literally just a mess. I was going to say they shouldn't have made Riot look identical to Venom.
I mean, how many different ways? Really,
They
the
did
only thing you had to
female
go
Venom.
with is colors.
Yeah, just change the color a little more.
They did female Venom. They could have made him
like
not-
blue.
Yo, maybe. Yeah, that.
Well, that's what they did in the comics.
Yeah.
yeah, that.
Oh, was he blue in the comic?
Riot was blue, I believe.
Oh, see?
yeah, so he
It
made
writes
it
itself.
dark gray and dark and like
Yeah,
light
like
black,
off gray and black.
like light black. It was with like gray streaks in it. They could have. They had the same exact physical bodies too. They could have done more with maybe like taller or like maybe make him look like Drake, the villain.
Carlton
Maybe
Drake.
Well,
Yeah.
Riot seemed a little more threatening.
bigger.
He had, some crazy weapons and a little size on him.
See, that bothered me because Venom can do that too,
Right. That's what I was.
and he just
yeah.
chose not to.
Right. He's got things you never seen before.
That was kind of dumb.
yeah, I've seen
Which-
an axe and a bowling ball. You know.
Yeah, brings me to some of the stuff that I didn't like. Some of the dialogue was just like eye roll. when Annie says something along the lines of like, I told you I could fight dirty. Like,
Yeah,
shut
that
up.
was-
Nobody's even there to hear what you're saying. Just
Right.
shut
Yeah,
up.
you're actually there alone.
She says that, and then her eyes slowly pan to the camera, like
Gives a wink.
Yeah,
Yeah. And they reused a couple lines trying to make it like a thing, and it just wasn't good.
You have a nice life.
The worst part of the movie, though, is this spoilers or no?
Not yet. We're gonna rate it.
No,
and then
is
we're gonna go to spoilers.
you know what I'm going to say?
No,
is,
that's not a spoiler. Pin boy?
is that a spoiler?
No.
What?
The pin.
Oh, go ahead.
So he gives away his pin to a little girl to
You're
inspire.
talking about Riz Ahmed.
Yeah, the bad guy. He's got a pin on his lapel. He hands it to a little girl and he says, all right, now you're in charge. And the lady's like, okay, you got an interview. Come over this way. In the next scene, he has a friggin' pin back on his suit.
I like that you can believe that there's a symbiote from space that can join with the human body and make it do crazy things, but it's impossible for you to think that maybe he had an extra pin in his
I
pocket.
don't buy it. He doesn't strike me as a man who carries around an extra pin.
He does not. They also have 6 months later, he's wearing the same pin at the same lapel.
Well, that I can believe that. It's
That's
probably his-
fair, but also at the same time, like, yo, what's with the pins? What's with the pins? Pins? Who wears pins?
You don't order one pin at a time. You order like 10,000 pins.
You got a
at time.
case
They're
of
like
them in
stickers.
storage.
Yeah.
Pins are stupid.
I'm not arguing with you.
Who has pins? Who do you know that wears pins consistently? Especially the same pin
I
6
got
months later.
I got nothing.
It's a
I'm
psycho
not
move.
arguing against
But
it.
if,
It's just,
if
I'm
that's
just
my
saying you
biggest
could've had one
knock
in
on
his
the
pocket.
movie, and I went into it thinking it was going to be trash,
Yeah.
that's saying something.
Fair
I honestly enjoyed it.
It ruined the movie for me.
All right.
A terrible one.
Let's rate this out of 10. Will, go ahead.
I'm going to say 7 out of 10.
Brick.
So I'll go 7.5.
I feel like I have to bring the average back down to 7, so I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Fair.
This was much more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be.
Same with that.
I was
got
expecting
shit
like
on.
3-ish territory.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
I thought it was
it's
gonna
getting
drag
unfairly
on.
panned.
I thought it
Yeah.
was going to drag on. I didn't know it was going to be as funny.
like
as
I
it
would be
was.
interested in seeing a sequel.
Yeah.
I am very interested.
That's
in
something
seeing
I
a
didn't
sequel.
think I would say coming out.
Before we get into the spoilers, let's talk quickly about what's coming next. Because they're building a whole universe here, and the next movie is going to be Spider-Man Far From Home. Then after that is going to be the Jared Leto Morbius movie. Morbius the Living Vampire.
Huh.
They've already said that. They've come out and said that that's...
Wait, he's the bad guy or what? I don't know who that is at all.
You would know if you saw him.
He's a living vampire? No, he's like he's a scientist who has a blood disease, and he's doing these experiments to try and like cure himself. Basically turns himself into a vampire. He's more of an anti-hero than he is like a villain. He's bad at first. I don't know. It's going to be Jared Leto. It's
Yeah.
probably going to suck.
It's going to be Sony, like Spider-Man
Yes.
universe.
Sony is building this entire universe. They're going to do Silver Sable and Black Cat. They're going to do a whole bunch of these, unless they go under, which is highly possible, I guess.
Somebody buys them.
That said, let's get into spoilers. Check the show notes and make sure you stick around afterwards for our recommendations for the week. So I feel like we have to talk about that post-credit scene first. Ronald McDonald shows up in this movie.
He drew
See, this-
audible laughs only from us three.
If you've been listening to this podcast, you knew that Woody Harrelson had been cast to show up in this movie. We had speculated, but we pretty much knew that he was going to be Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage. This was really over the top.
His hair is so poofy and red, and
I didn't recognize him. Honestly, it
Neither
took
did
me
I.
like 5 seconds to even realize it was him. And then that's when I laughed. I thought it was like some young, like redhead kid. And then I just slowly watched him morph into Woody Harrelson. And I was like, oh my
as he turned,
God.
ooh,
That wig is terrible.
terrible wig.
And I don't even care because I was just so excited to see
Yeah, you
Carnage
you
and
gave
Woody Harrelson.
an audible, like, what was it? Like a yeah or let's go or something.
So the scene is Eddie Brock walking into the prison. And I was like, obviously.
Carnage.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is going to be Cletus Cassidy. So he's going to meet up with one of the symbiotes at some point, and that's going to make him absolutely bonkers, crazy, merciless killing machine.
He's gonna have a great host.
Pretty much. This was really the only spoiler thing that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, same. That was about it. Yeah.
Outside of this, I mean, the movie was pretty paint by numbers. We had some jokes that I really didn't expect.
Yeah, jump.
When he calls him a pussy, that was totally out of left field, and I was dying.
Yeah,
it was
that
honestly
that had got the whole theater.
yeah, that was a great cut. Great cut. It was great. It was a quick cut too.
Yeah.
All right, jump, and then it just like quickly cuts to him pushing the elevator button. Like a pussy. I loved it. I loved it.
Venom being just like a smartass is
Yeah,
great.
that's what made the movie was all of his back and forth.
What it reminded me of is the around 2010 and 11 Deadpool comics. Because back then, and actually if you ever played the Deadpool video game.
Yeah, that game was awesome.
He had like High Moon, and there were two voices in his head. It's like two other personalities in his main personality. It reminded me a lot of that because those are just smart ass voices in his head. It was really well done.
Did you play that game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah, it was very funny.
That's your favorite superhero, right? Or your boy? Isn't he your top superhero? Deadpool?
No.
Oh,
My
you
top
like Gambit.
Spider-Man.
Huh. What do I know?
Oh, okay. I thought you were a
I've
Deadpool
dressed
guy.
up as many characters.
Well, yeah, I know. I thought you were a Deadpool. Like,
I mean, I love Deadpool, but now it's been so mainstreamed and beaten into the ground that it's like the comic books now are almost unreadable.
Really?
They're pretty bad.
They're too popular now. That's what you're saying.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
what a hipster
Well, they
thing
had to
say.
mainstream it. They had to take away the edge that it had because now Disney realizes that it's a cash cow.
Right. You
Except for the movies.
You can't have your cash cow, spouting crazy.
Well, you can in the movies,
Yeah.
but apparently you can't in the comic books.
Right.
So,
Interesting.
do we have anything else to say in the spoilers for this?
No, it was literally
Honestly,
just Cassidy.
no, just liked it more than I thought I would, and I would hope they make a second one.
The ending was kind of anticlimactic, though, right?
Yeah, the final boss fight we already kind of touched on.
Okay,
it.
yeah, that was the equivalent to a Hulk fighting Lightning. It was not good. It wasn't good CGI, and they could have done a much better
But you
fight scene.
you kind of just enjoyed the whole ride, and then that fight you just were kind of waiting to see like what beats it hit. Like what was it? What's his name? Raimi. He comes out of the suit for a minute and he tries to punch Tom Hardy, and he gets the upper hand, and you're like, I don't buy
Oh,
this.
you're talking about Riz Ahmed.
Yeah, yeah.
You,
Is his
you had me
name-
confused.
is his
Raimi's
name
the guy
Raimi
that
is his
directed
character.
the original.
I think his name is that in that HBO show you were
Oh,
saying.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't buy for a second that guy could stand toe-to-toe with Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
You can't because Tom Hardy still has that I'm Tommy from Warrior.
That guy
It's
weighs
not even that.
100,
If you just look at their stature.
140
Exactly.
pounds versus like 250 pure muscle.
Yeah.
I
Tom
agree.
Hardy's a fucking monster.
I agree.
So I didn't buy that.
I did like at the end, you think that he's lost the symbiote suit, and then he goes to talk to Annie, his ex-fiancée, and, they're talking for a couple minutes to make you think like nothing's going on, and then all of a sudden you hear the voice, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, nice.
He kicks
He doesn't
back
know
in.
We're gonna get her back.
Yeah.
I was really wondering how that was going to play out. Like, were
Same.
they just going to meet up later, or what?
I was happy that they.
What'd you
that
think
was-
of the final cameo, Stan? It was okay.
I know that soon, hopefully not too soon, we're not going to get those anymore. And I appreciate them when we get them.
Yeah.
And it's always good for a stupid joke like, who the hell was that guy?
Right.
It would have been better if he would have eaten Stanley's head.
Yeah. She's like,
Oh, that'd have been amazing.
I figured Stan Lee would have been more about that, but I'm actually surprised based on the fact we didn't even talk about the PG-13 rating this got,
yeah.
because there was a lot of speculation it was going to be R-rated. He ate a lot of heads.
Yeah. There's a lot of quick cuts though. It
Yeah.
didn't linger like, Deadpool or Wolverine.
I do want to
Not
see
much
the
blood.
director's cut of this.
So do I.
I just don't think they have that though. Like the R-rated, like super gory cut.
Tom Hardy says they cut a lot of stuff from this. I'd be interested to see it.
It sounds like they cut
His
a lot of
favorite-
his like back and forth like banter of him talking with both voices, which I'm on board for.
I'm
cool with
so
that.
Because that
sold
was
with
the best part of the movie, to be
Agreed.
honest.
Didn't you say something that where he channeled his energy was from like a little Conor McGregor? Would you? Or did
Oh
you
yeah,
make that
he
up,
said
or-
like no, he based his role on like McGregor, which I don't know, take that for what you will, but and
I don't know how I feel about that.
If
yeah.
he's gonna be a psychopath. He's gonna be a psychopath.
McGregor is a psychopath, by the way. Did you watch that press conference? The only press conference
I'm
leading
fucking
up to
over
this
that
fight?
guy.
Really?
I can't wait for Khabib to rip his head off.
Okay, we're in different camps.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, he's like, thank God he didn't come out of that bus, or he'd be dead, and I'd be in a cell. Like that's how you sell a fight,
That's ridiculous. It's like pro wrestling.
right?
now.
Yeah, it's. But then you look at him, and you're like, is he serious? Like, would he have killed him?
He wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this fight. Now we gotta leave Milan's
Yeah,
wedding.
we're
for
going to
it.
be at a wedding, and I'm going to have to sneak away and watch it on my phone or something.
I'm not going to get to watch it, which sucks, but I'll
He's
follow
a-
it on Twitter.
He's being the happiest place on earth.
Bad.
Small world after all.
The other thing I want to talk about while we're still in spoilers is basically it's a cutscene from Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
It's going to be in the beginning of that movie. This looks so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It really does. What can we even explain from that? It was actually like
I
funny.
waffled on like, do I like the art? Don't I like the art during the trailer? And then just that 3 or 4 minutes of uncut. I was like, okay, this is awesome.
There was like 4 or 5 things that I laughed out loud at. Just
Did
just the concept of it was hilarious.
Did you notice that all of the different Spider-Men, Spider-Women, Spider-Pigs are all in different art styles?
Yeah, I did notice that.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, that's really neat. And then they had like the comic book paneling, like the edits.
jump cuts.
Yeah, that was neat.
I really like this.
I think this movie's going to be very well done.
I really hope so. I would like to see Marvel. DC's been doing animated movies, and they've been doing them very well for a long time.
This is such a new, nuanced version
Yes.
of like animated live action.
I really want to see them get into this and do good work, because this is a lot of things that you can't do with live action.
Is this based on a real comic or like based on a series?
Loosely. This is loosely based on... Okay. So Miles Morales is the Ultimate Universe Spider-Man, which is a different universe than what we would consider our Marvel Universe, which is Earth 616. Then you have Spider-Gwen that comes from a different universe. This was all from the just Spider-Verse. This was the Spider-Verse series that came out 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Went on for a while. They did this big comic event, and that's where they introduced all these new characters, yada, yada, yada.
Okay, so they
loosely based on that.
Okay, so you said they couldn't do something like this for Batman, or they could, but they haven't really come out with anything like that.
But Spider-Man is better than Batman, so
right.
Establish that, yeah. Was that official? Do we even count out the votes? More?
I don't think anybody counted anything. He did like comment versus like. Nobody comments on
Nobody
shit.
comments.
No, that system is rigged.
So trash.
If you go for comments, it's always going to be higher. Nobody's going to retweet. I don't want this clogging up my feed.
Yeah, it's
exactly. It was on
system.
It was on Instagram. You either like the picture or you comment on it if you want to vote for Batman. So it's like no one's going to sit there and comment, and everyone's going to go, "Oh, that's a cool picture," and just like you'll like it.
Yeah,
it
keeps
just
growing.
ruins everything.
You get 3/4 of a second to get everybody's attention, and then gone. All right, so that wraps up our spoilers. Let's get into our recommendations for the week. Will, go ahead.
The only thing I've been watching lately that I would think people aren't watching is this Jake Paul documentary on YouTube.
Is that why you showed up with this fucking tank top?
Yeah. I had to get you part of the Low Gang.
Yeah,
you had to be
Low Gang.
So this 8-part series. It's actually really interesting. You could skip the second episode, but there's 4 out right now. That's what I've been watching.
Fair enough. This is YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube.
What's his song? What is it? 1 to 30?
It's Everyday Bro. Oh, no. Numbers.
Jam.
Did he lose his boxing match?
It was a draw.
Oh,
air quotes for those who can't see.
God damn it.
It was in the contract that there was going to be a rematch already.
That's
so everybody's
so
like
stupid.
this, yeah.
All right, Brick, what do you recommend?
But Jake Paul did beat up his younger brother, Comedy Gamer.
Okay.
And they had one of those.
I don't know who any of these
They had
people
one of
are.
those British rappers you were talking about do like the halftime, like the in between the 2 big fights, and it was like the most silent cringe around the arena, and it was like 8 to 10 minutes long, and it's just this guy going like and everyone just like so mind-blowingly bad.
You're really good at British rap.
No, I'm cringing. Secondhand cringe.
That hurts. Brick, what do you recommend?
Gary versus Demons, right?
Gary and His Demons.
Gary and His Demons. Where do you watch that? VRV?
Yes, it's on vrv.co. So it's kind of like an animation website.
Verve.
Yeah, I don't really know what you call it. I've never heard it said out loud.
Yeah, I don't know anybody else who has it until today.
There you go.
Kind of like Morales.
They do, like, Bravest Warriors is on there. Bravest Warriors is awesome, by
that
the way.
show's funny.
Yeah, but it's just like another streaming service. And if you don't have to pay for this, if you want to watch the first few episodes, you can just sign up for a free account. I don't pay for it, but this show is really funny.
It actually is pretty funny. What was it, 10 minutes like per episode?
They're 10 to 12 minute episodes. I've caught the first 3. And I knew that this would be right up your alley.
Yeah, it's a laugh every couple of minutes, honestly. Even shorter than that, honestly. It was good. Good comment. Good content.
All right, I'm going to recommend, I'm in the point of the year where work is stressful. I'm trying to buy a house. I got all this other bullshit on. So when I get stressed out, I look for either something that I've watched 1,000 times or a stupid cartoon. And in this case, it was a stupid cartoon. Are you guys familiar with Gravity Falls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I fucking love this. I've binged 30 episodes to the face in like 3 days.
Have you seen it before?
I had not.
Yeah, I actually have never seen it, but I've seen interviews with the creator. If as weird as that sounds, because he's always with like Justin Roiland because they're friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't they do nods to each other in their shows? Like,
yeah.
Super
there was going to be
secretive?
like a Easter egg between those 2 shows and one other show, and it was like a football that had like laces that said like something cheesy.
Oh, that was with the Rick and Morty. It was a Rick and Morty and Gravity Falls.
But Rick and Morty was the only one who actually ended up doing it, and the other 2 didn't.
Well, I know Morty's voice shows up in this show.
So Morty's voice shows up in the show, and then when you open up a portal in like one of the first episodes of Rick and Morty, they have like 3 or 4 things that shoot through, and they're from Gravity Falls. So there's like little Easter eggs, like you were saying.
So based on the pedigree, I'd be interested. So if you say it's good, I'll check it out.
It's on Disney XD, or it's also on Hulu, which is where I got it. It's really just funny. I don't know. It's not super kiddie cartoons.
Is it more like Adventure Time or more like regular show in terms of like?
I'd say it's more like regular show.
Yeah.
But it's also like the whole premise is they're in this weird town in Oregon called Gravity Falls. And there's like underlying crazy things that happen there. And the main character, Dipper, finds a journal that's like has gnomes and goblins and shit in it. Like he's trying to figure out who wrote this journal while all this crazy stuff's happening in the background. It's really well done, actually. The story is there. It's not just stupid, crazy things.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out then.
I actually will check that out too. If my stupid show that I go to that I just like, if nothing's on, I just like will watch a cartoon is the
Gumball?
Adventures of Gumball.
Oh yeah, that's classic.
I knew that about you.
Gumball's hilarious. It's actually so funny. Some of the things that they do, it's great.
What was the other one? Clarence? Clarence is good too.
Oh, dude, Clarence is great.
It's so stupid.
I love all those shows.
Yeah, Gravity Falls is a little
The
bit more
only thing
mature
I was
than that.
worried about Gravity Falls is Disney.
Yeah,
I was like, maybe it's too kiddie and I won't like it, but
it's not at all.
yeah.
I'm 32 years old and I like cartoons.
You've given it the sign off.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
Part of
that's
the Low Gang, so you're officially verified.
Can we get a yeah yeet?
No, you can't.
You want to be Low Gang, you better yeet.
Is that?
That's what
I don't know what's. Is that?
Yeah
like
yeet.
I'm not doing it.
Come on, you're an impressions guy. We all know.
For all I know, that's like some white power thing.
That was low key. You're fucking. Never mind.
I think that's going to wrap up this episode of the Chump.
That was him doing that, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That was also him doing the Darium impression earlier. This was episode 112. We appreciate you listening. You can get us on all social media at the Chumpcast, or call or text us at 847-920-6107. Next week, we will be at Ace Comic Con at Navy Pier in Chicago. We have fancy press badges and stuff, and we're going to go try and meet people. So if you want to meet up with us, shoot us a message on Instagram or Twitter. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a beer.
Yeah, maybe I'll steal Mark's badge one of those days.
You'll probably just take mine because I'll be exhausted. But
cool. That works too.
All right. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah. Yeet.
Nice.